This was Neo's 345th experiment, extracting the brain consciousness of fallen soldiers and implanting it into the brains of robots. But when the robots woke up, they became emotionally agitated. They couldn't accept their appearance and started to self-mutilate. To prevent losing control, Neo forcibly unplugged the power source. The 345th experiment ended in failure. The boss warned Neo that this experiment was too costly. The company's executives had lost hope. If there was no more progress, the project would be shut down. After work, Neo went home. He borrowed his colleague Ed's boat to take his family out for a trip. On the way, it started raining heavily. A truck narrowly missed hitting them. Unfortunately, a tree fell in front of them. The huge impact caused a branch to pierce through his wife. Neo didn't have time to brake, and the car plunged straight into the river. When Neo woke up, he was the sole survivor. His family had left him forever in that moment. Neo was devastated. At this time, a bold idea came to his mind. He found his friend Ed and told him not to ask anything and to bring the equipment with him. When they passed through the bushes, Ed saw Neo's family all lying on the ground. He instantly understood everything. Neo had extracted his family's consciousness and hurried back to the lab. He planned to clone his family. Ed was the company's cloning expert, and the company's cloning pods could complete this. The cloning pods could not only clone, but also set the growth rate to clone identical clones. However, the cloned bodies had no memories in their brains after completion. Neo was eager to save his family and didn't think much. He had Ed move the cloning pods to his home, but there were only 3 cloning pods. He had to give up one family member. Neo wanted to decide by drawing lots. He wrote the names of his wife and children on paper and let Ed decide. Ed refused. He told Neo that he had to make the choice himself. Faced with his rebellious eldest daughter, his mischievous son, and his well-behaved youngest daughter, it was impossible for him to choose who to pick. When he opened the selected note, it was the name of his youngest daughter, Zoe. He could only give up his youngest daughter. There was no time for grief. They immediately started cloning. The cloned bodies needed 17 days to grow. After setting the data, Neo had to make the painful decision to delete the 3 people's memories about Zoe. After the deletion, Neo began to vent his grief and anger. During this time, he didn't go to work. The boss asked Ed, and Ed could only lie that he was sick. The boss issued an ultimatum. If there was no progress on Experiment 345, the project would be terminated. This meant that what they were doing would be discovered.